video classes for the student of Institute of English of Latif University, Khokhar. These video lectures cover the whole scope of English literature, and you will find videos for the subjects of drama, fiction, novel in 18th and 19th century, and American literature as well. For watching more videos on literature and awareness sessions, keep on watching my video channel and subscribe my channel. I thank you all and I love you all.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. For the student of BS4 subject American literature, this is my new presentation on the poetry of Robert Frost, and today's topic is Robert Frost as a poet. Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Frost, a leading poet of United States of America, known as Bard of America, was a 20th century poet. He was widely acclaimed and highly recognized for his poetic genius in his life even. In subcontinent, he had admirers. The great Indian politician Jawaharlal Nehru liked his lines that woods are dark and deep, and I have promises to keep, and to go miles before I sleep, and to go miles before I sleep. These are the favorite lines of Jawaharlal Nehru. Frost was a poet who was invited in presidential oath-taking ceremony of famous American President John F. Kennedy. Frost lived a life of a great poet. But let me tell you that what are the peculiar qualities of Robert Frost as a poet. For Frost's first identification is his being the poet of nature. He is both a classical and a romantic in his attitude towards poetry. He is romantic because he discusses romantic themes in his poetry. For Frost, it is said that he was a regional poet because in Frost's poetry we find American tone, American style, American diction, and the talk of New England people. He had fascination, rather let me clear that he had a strong fascination with rural life. W.G. O'Donnell, the critic, says that Frost had already decided to give his writing a local habitation and a New England name, to root his art in the soil that he had worked with his own hands. In Frost poetry, we also find pastoral traditions. After a great gap in English poetry, once again in the poetry of Robert Frost, we find pastoral traditions living again. Frost eulogizes the people, the areas, the landscape, beautiful scenic beauty, and the meadows, the hills, the rivers, the streams of New England. He had used in his poetry the dialect of New England as well. All these qualities make Frost a regional poet. But when we weigh and measure the poetry of Robert Frost as a newer scale, we come to know that with all these traditional attributes to his poetry, Frost also stands to be a modern poet. A modern poet is one who celebrates the lives of industrial city, who discusses the problems posed by machinery and mechanical life, who tells us about the human problems in modern era, and who tells that what sort of problems are being faced by common man in this urbanized and in this machinized world. And all these themes are frequently found in the poetry of Robert Frost. When we study the poetry of Robert Frost with enthusiasm and with great care, we come to know that Frost's poetry is symbolical in its significance. Frost uses symbols, and through those symbols, Frost discusses the problems and enigmas of human life. Frost tells us in his poems that I have been one acquainted with the night, I have walked out in rain and back in rain, I have outwalked the furthest city light. Means Frost tells us that he had viewed and faced the problems of modern life before these problems posed, means in rural settings, and after these problems have affected the urban lives. Frost has walked both in rain and out of rain. Frost tells us that the human life poses greater opportunities where there is a common fixation of human choice. Frost tells us that this is dilemma of modern man to find a proper solution of his problems, because there are always two roads to diverge, and he says Two roads diverge in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. It is dilemma of human mind that man may opt for only one choice. He has no option to opt for both of the choices. So he further goes on, and be one traveler, long I stood and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. And the roads in human life, the roads of modern life are not clear, not visible, not frequently used. And this is what Robert Frost tells us through his poems. Robert Frost in another poem, The Bridges, tells us that I would like to go by climbing a bridge tree and climb black branches up a snow white trunk toward heaven till the tree could bear no more, but dipped its top and set me down again. That would be good both going and coming back. One could do worse than be a swinger of birches. So Frost tells us that in this modern life we have greater problems to face, and we have to come and go to and fro in this perplexed and complex life, and we have to retain our existence. We have to struggle for existence. And I had in my previous lecture told you that Frost's notion of nature is also different from William Wordsworth. For William Wordsworth, nature is the place of peace and tranquility, but for Frost, the nature is always mobile, that arouses men towards action. So we may conclude that Robert Frost is a modern poet in all aspects, though he has regional settings, though he sings America, though he loves people of America, but his message is universal, and he can be surely considered as one of the greatest and finest poet of 20th century. And 20th century great poetry, the poetry of Robert Frost do count. Thank you very much for watching this video. For more videos, continue watching my YouTube channel.